Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/I. I'm your host, Roman, and we have a terrific show planned for you today. Please do not forget to stay tuned to IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station after the Drive at 5 for the one and only Warriors Talk with Rochelle at 6 p.m. And you're sure ready for the Warriors Talk, right?
Ready,
Right.
ready. Come on now.
Tonight, my guest is a filmmaker, songwriter, storyteller.
What's going on, brother?
Your
How are you?
own audience in the background, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right. So please give intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station your back.
Definitely. My name is Chris Love. I am from Chicago, born and raised. Went to Columbia for music business and songwriting. Went to CVS, Chicago Vocational School for radio, TV, and broadcasting as well. That's the school Bernie Mac went to. Rest in peace. Really, I've just been storytelling since I was little. You know, it's a short story. I can remember my mom being at a place where she would cry because of the men she was dating, and I always wanted to give her advice, but she ain't listening to me. You know, I'm her son, right? But you know, when the father's not there, the son sometimes feels like he's a protector. He's the boy working, and you know, my production company, Back to Emotion Productions, does exactly that. We want to bring your vision to life. We want to embrace the story that, you know, you've been sleeping at 3 a.m. and wake up to, and we want to be able to help people. So,
Tell us a little bit about the inspiration of becoming a multifaceted individual in entertainment. You are a filmmaker, a songwriter, storyteller, music conversationalist. It's like, what is the time to like be you?
help people. First of all, when I'm in a position to do so many things, multifaceted, it's all one thing in different ways. It's all storytelling. So I storytell through music, I storytell through film, I storytell through conversation. I'm throwing conversation parties and we're talking about, you know, should we still whoop our kids or, you know, anything, right? But to be able to help people tell our stories, I mean, that's inspiration in itself. Most people don't know how to articulate. You know, I remember back in the 90s, we used to be able to be like, yo, I don't know how to say what I want to say, but this song speaks for me. And that always struck to me. I want to be able to speak for people. I want people to say, I don't know how to articulate it. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to formulate it. Sometimes I might be too mad to talk to you. Listen to this song. This is how I feel. Watch this part of this movie. That's how I feel. So that was the inspiration. But after hearing Tyler Perry's interview about focusing on one thing, I said, man, I do too many things. I don't want to just throw the rest of my stuff to the side. How can I bridge them all? So storytelling through multifaceted ways is the direction that I've chosen. And it's been a rewarding experience so far.
What song? Now, what is some of the music and songs you have written? So the audience be like, oh yeah, he's the guy that wrote that song. We didn't know that.
So I'm gonna be honest, I do have credits, but people might not know them. I'm still growing and developing in that area. I Believe I Can Fly and The Greatest for R. Kelly. There's so many different ways that he's known. I'll say that. So I don't want to speak on accolades per se, but I'll definitely
hear you. And usually it's kind of like a difficult question, which some of us, oh, okay. which some
I'm
of
just,
us,
you know what I mean?
which,
I'm in mode.
oh, okay. So you're just saying, bring it. What song that you have written defines you as a songwriter and an artist?
That's a tough one.
See?
I would say that's a good question. First of all, you was prepared. I like that. You was prepared. You was ready. No, so I would say every song I've written has had a piece of me. Uh, it's one song. It's one song that I have called Side Eye. Oh, goodness gracious! And actually made a feature film out of it. I premiered it last year at the Harper Theater. We booked it out, booked the Harper Theater out, and I did a red carpet premiere for that one. And the song is called Side Eye. The movie's called Side Eye. But essentially, it is a man going on the train. He sees a woman and stop. What shall I do? I want her number two. So he goes up and whispers something in her ear. She smiles, goes in her briefcase, hands him the card. He gets off. When he gets off, a woman gets off with him and she gives him the side eye, which is basically saying, I saw what you did. And as soon as he gets off, he sees that, he feels guilty. He goes in his pocket and he puts his ring back on. That song would definitely be the closest thing for me personally. It's exactly my story. And, you know, I was married once, but I wasn't married mentally. I still wanted to be out here. I still wanted to play. I still wanted to fish. I still wanted to see if I could catch. Never cheated, but I always wanted to see if I could get somebody who I felt was a beautiful woman, probably because I felt that I couldn't do it when I was younger. So I would probably say Side Eye would be the song that will be like the closest to me, closest experience. If you just listen to the lyrics, you'd be like, you'll get a chance to know me without me telling you. So yeah.
I just want to see if I can still reel them in like the player I used to be.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a dangerous game to play, especially when you're married?
It's an extremely dangerous game if that is not communicated and reciprocated. Let me help you understand. I have a friend. I won't say his name, but I have a friend, and he has an understanding with his wife that if you want to go do some stuff, let me know who the woman is so I can investigate and we can do it with her. That's their situation. So it just depends on your relationship. That wasn't my situation. I was 20 years old and I was married, and you know, my grandparents been married 55 years, so I've always wanted that. So, but I understood through trauma, through all these different situations I've been in, and through insecurities, that I still wanted attention. So that's
not me, somebody else situation. How you combine that together to define a song like you elaborated when defining you?
Wow, that's good questions. So I would say to not box yourself in. When I'm writing, when I'm experiencing, when the song, people love Mary J. Blige for Not Gonna Cry. She don't want to sing that song. She's over that. She has to relive those emotions as the songwriter. So my foundation is in songwriting and telling stories is from a place of pain. So it hurts sometimes to write stories. I'll use, you know, all these different situations and I'll put it together, and then I'll just cut the fat off, and then I'll, you know, have the melody, and I'll do this, and I'll bring people in, and you know, bringing people in brings new experiences and new adventures, and so we just put it together. Or even if I'm by myself, I just tailor it towards understanding. I want people to see themselves and place themselves in this situation and understand both sides of every situation. So yeah.
As a songwriter, have that understanding. As a songwriter, when people don't have an understanding, you appreciate I'm going to be like, hey man, sing a couple of songs for us, and you're not in that place anymore. Describe that.
You might have a connection to a song. You might have got married to it. You might have heard it the first time you and your college sweetheart dance on the dance floor in college. You might have a connection to a song. You were going through something. This is the song you played back to back on the album. So you have a connection to that song, and essentially you're stuck. Like emotionally, that is, some songs I hear now, tears will just come. Literally. when I hear Brandy, what is that song? Stop it. Forgot the name of the song. But when I hear certain Brandy songs, when I hear The Reason by Hoobastank, because again, my music is eclectic, so rock, anything, right? But when I hear certain songs, it hits me, and I remember a moment, and I cry, and I'm like, yo, if I go to the concert, I want to hear this, I want to feel it, I want to relive that moment with them, right? But if you are an artist, if you're a songwriter, you don't want to relive those moments if you're past that. If Mary's moved on and she's happy, then she might not want to relive those moments. I understand that's the catalog. I understand men ain't whatever.
You're
like,
on Intellectual Radio. You're good.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't want you to press the dumb button on me. But for me, our next album gonna be fire.
Well, so, yes. let's go to the happy times, and as a songwriter, or your song that you have written being played on the radio. What was your emotions like?
I can tell you a short story and tell you exactly the emotion I had. I performed at Columbia College, and it's a big situation that they used to have called Big Mouth. I performed there. It's my first time performing. Never used a microphone, but we're going to perform this. We're going to do it. And I went up there. I had one background singer, and I had somebody who was a person that I was having like an interaction with, like an actress, right? And I'm up there, I'm performing, and after, I thought I killed it, right? But afterwards, they said, yo, we could barely hear you because your microphone. So I said, damn. Like, I was trying to come to bed, boom, 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 and I just left. Went home, and the singer was humming the song as we went to the metal detector at the dorm. And the security guard said, yo, what song you singing? And she said, a few girls just went past and sung that song. Wow, that's dope. And it just made me be like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to think I did horribly, but it affected somebody. Somebody remembered it. Somebody sung it. Somebody caught on to it. Somebody was affected by it. That was something I'll never forget. It was a feeling like no other. Especially when I went to the back and I seen this guy with a Kango hat on, and I go back there and I'm like, who are you? And it was my father. He's never shown up for any event I've ever had. And he was there. And he was like, he's proud of me, and boom, boom, boom. And man, he said, if you want to tell a story, wait till you tell mine. And he walked off. And it was just an emotional moment. You know what I mean? To be able to be affected by it, to have people I didn't even realize supported me come from my grandparents who's in their 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? Like, it was never forget, literally. Never forget.
As a Columbia College alum, such as myself.
Come on now.
How did Columbia College Chicago groom you to the filmmaker and songwriter you are today?
It was, for me, a place of integrity. All my teachers, guys of integrity. You were put on the spot. You had to be ready. Amazing for networking. I mean, situations where you leave the dorm or the schools and people are creative level. So it was definitely a phenomenal individual an experience. And every time I even say that I went to Columbia, that's a whole nother fraternity type situation where it's like, I went to Columbia, and then we just have all these
creativity. And all of a sudden you find yourself competing against one another without competing. Am I right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there were definitely times where you have some situations where you are because opportunities are so when I'm on the phone. But like, y'all never call, but you call them now. But no, so there were so many times where people they called you out, if you to perfect your gift, and having people who don't even necessarily believe in what you do critique it. and now you're not feeling the same type of way. You're not giving it the same type of energy or emotionally invested. Could definitely be something that they consider a little bit too hard on them. But it built me for what I am, So
Speaking of multifaceted individual, you have a Black-owned and operated book publishing company. Tell us about that.
So my goal is to, again, I want to be able to tell people stories. And I realize that some people's stories are already told. They just don't have an outlet. So I wanted to be able to work with authors. I wanted to be able to work with different people who want to maybe turn their book into documentaries. Just different facets of storytelling to be able to bring it to life. So my company, Back to Emotion, definitely houses that way. I'm actually putting out a fasting, detoxing, and cleansing book geared towards helping people manifest through fasting, through detoxing, to be able to live their best life. Because I'm on day 8 of my fast today. So
When that book's supposed to come out?
I haven't put a date on it. So it's not a goal yet, right? But for me, it'll definitely be in 2021 as far as it coming out, because I'm excited. I just hosted my first class, and I have my next class tomorrow or Wednesday on the introduction to fasting, detoxing, and cleansing, and a manifestation process. I have that on Clubhouse. I don't know if you're on Clubhouse yet, but it's on Clubhouse, and I did it with Tracy Hill, and then Tracy Neely, and then this session is with Tracy Neely, Ashley Amara, and Rona Bennett, who's from Chicago, who's a part of In Vogue. My friend, she's coming to do it as well. So
Lady Rowe?
We working, baby. We working.
You're talking about Lady Rowe from In Vogue, right?
Come on now. Yes. It's my best. Amazing individual. Amazing individual. She's on her fasting journey.
She's also from Chicago.
Yes.
And a lot of people, when she spit knowledge, it's like, whoa, you want more. Yeah, I've been in some of her courses as well, and yeah, it is amazing. Well, when she's on Facebook Live, I should say that.
Yes.
And what are some of the books besides the cleansing you have published?
So to be honest, I haven't published any.
Okay.
I haven't published any. That'll be my first book, and then I have other people who are getting their books together.
Why people think the way they think and how it affected their emotions intrigues you. Whether it was a song lyric, a movie plot, or the dinner table conversation. Why understanding what people think and their emotions intrigue you?
When you understand how a person thinks, you understand how they move. You understand that we're alike more than we're understanding how a person thinks, being in that situation, understanding how a person moves, just the thought process of food. And a lot of them say, wow, I've never been asked. I actually have a toxic relationship to food. I usually eat it. I usually eat my problems away, or I do this, or I do that. And for me, if you're a person who understands them, then you can be less judgmental. You can be more accommodated. You can be, you have more grace towards the person. So being able to tell people stories is the most vulnerable place that you can be in. So I have to be able to position myself to break things down, to understand them as a person, so that we tell the best story, so that we can help people grow. And
you combine that. Earlier we talked about that, about how you like a canvas and you insert yourself, other people's stories, and the list goes on and on. How you convey those emotions in your film and songwriting?
So for me, it would definitely using certain chords.
The way that a person lose on The Price is Right, and it goes doom 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 doom.
And
Right.
it's like, oh,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's not a happy moment. Can you imagine that being your alarm clock? You you have a bad mood the whole day, literally, right? So for me, certain chords, the way you approach the music, the song structure and topic definitely sets the tone for it. But if a person love dialogue, if you are in a situation where you are writing a film and you got this part, if a person is arguing, sometimes it's not just about film. It might be what they didn't say, what they should say. It might be their facial expression, their energy. So creating emotion in those facets, I definitely have done that, especially with my current film, documentary, and song. We built it, definitely.
Also, you placed third in a commercial and received the nomination for Best PSA. Tell us about that.
Yeah, commercial PSA. I had to make a commercial for Save the Children, and I thought about how I wanted to do it, tried to figure it out, and it was. I ended up having a commercial where you see this young boy and he's eating out of a garbage can and he's just wandering around, right? And then you see him go and sleep on a mattress that's in an alley, and he goes to sleep. And all these adults are walking past him. All these people are not paying attention, and I wanted to show people that saving the children is essential. Saving the children is something that it needs to happen. For the commercial, I created a commercial for McDonald's, and it was basically just a dollar menu of.
Go outside and you look at something, it triggers some type of creativity.
Yep.
What message in your film that you want people to get that keen understanding of what you're watching?
So you're definitely right. My dog was outside, and I opened the window, and there were birds everywhere on the electric wire, but it was a bird to itself on one side. And I thought, what happened? Why is he by himself? And so that literally would trigger a story. Like, that would trigger an animation story of being like, what did this bird do? How does he think? Is he, this or that? Or, why nobody give him attention, or why is he by himself, right? So whenever I go outside, it could be anything that triggers a story or something. In my film, we built it. It's simple. Where would America be? Where would white people be without Black inventions, Black culture, and Black creativity? And because of that, because they wouldn't be anywhere, from the doorknob to the stoplight to everything. We deserve reparations, because if we took everything back to where they want us to go, you wouldn't have anything. That's why I want them to get out of it, and that's what they don't get out of it.
So that's the new documentary you're doing right now that is coming out. Tell us a little bit more about the documentary, about We Built It.
Yes. So We Built It is an experience. I call it the We Built It experience. First, it has a song, music short, and then it has a documentary. The song is out. It came out the day after the election day. Wanted to put pressure on whoever was president, and then the different situations where they're in the studio making the song. You interview different people, from Twista, Chicago, to Corey B, comedian, to different politicians on the Republican side and on the Democratic side, from LaShawn Ford, state representative, to different people from, it has Miss Robin, the Alderman Robin from Evanston, who's pushed for reparations and got it passed in Evanston, Illinois. There's a lot of different people. Justin Aisha, again, she's from Chicago, been on HBO. It's a lot of people in the situation from all different levels, And we brought it together because we want people to talk about our culture, what we built, what we do, our contributions, and how the things, there's so many different inventions I didn't even know we built that I didn't even know we had. Did you know we invented the guitar? I had no idea we invented the guitar. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So for me, it's just realizing that there's so many things, but we don't own, if not all, we don't own anything. Very, 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 very little. The guy who made the stoplights sold his company to GC for $40,000 in 1960. And I'm just like, yo, 1940. And I'm like, that's crazy. Stoplights are everywhere in the world. Can you imagine if we kept that patent? So for me, it's just being able to show through film, through conversation, through music, that we have a stake in this country. And we're going to not ask for a seat at the table. We built the table. So
You pointed out something that was really key. However, there is a trend. And I said this on the Drive at 5 over and over again. They said, we're very creative people. We just sell it away. Give you a prime example, Dr. Dre. He wanted to be the first billionaire in the rap industry so bad. Dre Beats, remember?
Yep.
And he sold the rights to it. And guess what happened? Instead of that billion, that company said, oh, we'll just give him $1 billion. Oh, okay. I'll take the billion. You already had the money. $100 million.
Very, very cheap, by the way, to be honest.
Yes.
Very cheap.
And the conversation again goes to, we're creative, but we sell it. Bob Johnson.
Now, I'm not saying, because some people have different reasons why they build companies, why they might build an invention or an idea. They have all those people you name have different streams of income, multiple. So, you never know why. They could say, yo, I want to finally get out of this. Let me sell it and then go to something else, because we're all in 2020 and we all have this new direction that we're going in. So
we always have, and I'm just going to call a spade, white people dictating our narrative, white people dictating our stories. And we're not looking back and saying, but we had an opportunity here and we sold that opportunity. Your thoughts?
Except us. Everybody thinks 100 years down the road except us. And, hopefully people stop just focusing on one, themselves. Two, not just focus on their kids, but focus on their kids. There's so many things, so many different ways that we could have sell it to get this money. Now, again, Lil Wayne's situation is different. He might be going to prison. So he might need that for lawyer fees. We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
You don't sell the whole bank. You just don't do that.
I agree. I completely agree with you. But I just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know his personal, simply like he's just not being the smartest person in soda, right? So for me, that's not something I want to do. I want to be able to build companies and sell them, but I also want to be able
to other hip hop artists that possibly want this catalog, and it will be very easily to put that if you come up with 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, and you got a couple of people that put $2 or $3 million, we're selling to the Beckys, the Karens, and the Toms instead of our own.
Why are we still begging white people to change their award systems? The Grammys is not made for us. The Oscars is not made for us, but we want it to integrate and make it ours and sit at the table, and it's like, yo, just let them have it. That's not theirs. We've seen what immigration has done for us. It ain't been the best. So for me, it's just, realizing that, when you're in these situations, you're right. I thought he would have went to Jay-Z and said, yo, can you buy my catalog? I need some money. Or like you said, go to 10 different rappers and have them all pay 10 million, whatever, right? Um, that would have been something. But I feel like some people are more comfortable with certain people. And, on the other side of that, just because you see folk, I mean, you can't folk. So could be that too.
Let's go back to your documentary. Now, you've always been involved in music. However, in your documentary, you connected with a Grammy award-winning artist. Explain the connection and how you got a Grammy award-winning artist's attention with one of your songs, and she fell in love with it and said, basically, let's do this.
So the person who I got connected with was who I told you with earlier, Percy Beatty. It's amazing. Like, it tells a complete story before the song even comes on. I said, yo, I need this emotion. Like, wow, amazing. So I Googled him and I found out a person who did the credits, and I emailed him, and he agreed to meet and have lunch. And we met at a water station, Alkaline, a vegan water station place. And we had lunch. I have him say, yo, just check him out. You sending good energy. Blessings, brother. And one day he was like, yo, let's work. And we went in the studio and we worked, and we cranked out, so far, we've cranked out 3 songs. And one of them was We Built It. And when he heard it, we made it from scratch. We made it from scratch. I did come to him with the lyrics and the melody, but the production was us working together, and we made it completely from scratch. And I allowed him to be empowered by, hey, if you hear something, do it. Some people are so strict in what they hear, what they see, or what they want, that they don't let the person, they're not a good collaborator. I allowed him to feel and do what he does, because again, I'm coming to him for a reason. So let him do what he do. And as you can hear from the song, oh my God, Lord have mercy. Like, I've had people cry from this song. I've had people say, this should be the next, black national anthem. Like, there's so many compliments from the song. So I'm just appreciative that it struck chords and that it did what it needed to do. And we just grown an amazing relationship. And he's like family, which you don't always get that in this business. But I can honestly say I met his wife, I met his family. Like, he's amazing. And there was so much, and there was a lot going on. And you see all these different people making these type of conscious records, from Beyonce to Baby, from Lil Baby to, Usher. They created all these records that basically say, if you listen to the lyrics of the second verse, you'll hear them say, if we came where you stay and took everything we made. There's lyrics that are tucked. You want us to leave, go back to our country, but we built it. Like, the lyrics are tucked in a way where they're cleverly like drawn out there. But if you really listen to it, you'll feel them. You know what I mean? So for me, I was angry. I needed to create something. I needed to and I invited 20 Chicago people. I wanted it to be a hybrid of We Are the World. And I'm glad only 3 showed up.
You are donating $50,000 of the proceeds to Chicago Public School. Briefly explain the importance of,
if you're paying me $1 million to promote this or do this, you got to put this amount of money into my community, whether it's a school, a black business, whatever. And so I adopted that mindset for everything I do. If you want to build with me, if you want to work with me, you have to build my community. When I sell this to Netflix, Hulu, whoever, you have to build in my community. You have to give to CPS. You have to give to Chicago. You have to rebuild the infrastructures. You have to open up opportunities for our people. This is more than just about me. I come from a Chicago public school. I come from Chicago. So when I'm not here, I need things to be still in motion. I need things to be going. So that's the reason why I focused on that. And, I've definitely, to be honest, met some people who say that Chicago public schools don't use their money wisely. But I wanted to make sure that no matter what route I go, even if it's going directly to Chicago public school teachers and saying, yo, how can I be beneficial? What do you need? Boom. I don't care if it's going to Comcast and paying all these students Wi-Fi bills so they can use their laptops for mobile schooling. I don't care what I have to do. Whatever I have to do, I'm donating the first $50,000 in proceeds of the film to be able to benefit my city and everyone that's here, my community.
Because we want to play, we built it. Please very quickly give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station where they can get a hold of you and contact with you and also your music and stuff like that.
This interview has been phenomenal. Please support and follow everything that this amazing gentleman is doing. He's amazing, phenomenal, good questions always, good energy. Read people through the things that I'm doing, whether it's helping people tell their vision or doing anything. So you can reach me there. If you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to everything from the song to the trailer of the film to some things that we're working on that we're going to be introducing and releasing next year. So definitely stay in tune. I appreciate you for this opportunity. And Mary Q. Angel, who directed it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Don't be a stranger to the Drive at 5, sir.
Yes. Thank you. And again, any way I can support you, please let me know. This is a two-way street.
Thank you so much. That's going to do it for the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station. Thanks, sir.
You made us feel like we're divided. If we stand for something, we'll lose it all. Maybe that's what needed to happen. We all came together for the cause. Who built this country? America, without us, wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be surface, no longer sweeping you under the rug. Won't sit back, watching them injure, fight for the lives that were took. Because knees are falling just the same, and you're the one to blame. You're the one to blame. It's time you know. If we came where you stay and took everything away, we built it. You tell us to leave, go back to our country, but we built it. We built it. If we came where you stay and took everything we made, as we said, we built it. We built it. America, without us, would it be the same? Would it be the same? Oh no, 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 no. Ooh, it wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be. No, it wouldn't be the same.